Here is the truth almost nobody tells you when you start trying to build wealth. The first $100,000 is brutal. It is the slowest, most demoralizing, most painful money you will ever save. And then something flips. After that first 100 grand, the game changes completely. Your money starts working harder than you do. The problem is this: most people quit somewhere in the brutal part. They give up a few years before the exact moment it was about to get easy. Today, I am going to show you the whole curve, so you never make that mistake. Let me introduce you to someone. Call her Maya, 28 years old, decent job. She does the responsible thing and starts putting away $500 a month. Every month, no excuses. And for the first couple of years, she watches her account like a hawk. And here is what she sees: almost nothing. Because at the beginning, this game feels rigged. You put in $500. The market gives you back a few bucks in interest. You put in another $500, a few more bucks. For the first few years, you are doing basically all the lifting. Your own sweat is the only thing moving that number. The compound magic everyone promised you? Invisible. It feels like pushing a boulder up a hill that never ends. Watch the math, because this is why the start hurts. In year one, Maya saves $6,000. Her investment growth on that? Maybe a few hundred. Her contributions are 90% of her progress. The market is barely helping, so it feels like saving, not investing. It feels slow because it is slow. Nobody warns you about this part, so most people assume they are doing something wrong. They are not. This is just what the bottom of the curve feels like for everyone. Now here's the first secret they never teach you. There is a hidden line on this journey. A crossover point. It is the year your money finally earns more than you put in. For Maya, saving $500 a month at a normal market return, that line arrives when her balance hits around $60,000. That is the moment everything quietly changes. Before that line, you are carrying your money. After that line, your money starts carrying you. And once you cross it, the curve stops being a straight grind and starts to bend. Every dollar the market earns gets thrown back in, and next year it earns money too. Then that money earns money. This is the snowball everyone talks about, but almost nobody sees because almost nobody stays long enough to reach it. So let me show you the shape of the whole thing. Maya keeps going. $500 a month. She does not touch it. Watch how long each $100,000 takes. Her first $100,000 takes her about 11 years. 11 long years. That is the brutal part. That is where almost everyone quits. But her second $100,000? That does not take another 11 years. It takes about 5. The third $100,000 comes in about 3. Look at what is happening. Each new 100 grand arrives faster than the one before it. The hill is flattening out. The boulder is starting to roll on its own. By the time Maya is reaching for her last 100,000, on the way to $1 million, that final chunk lands in under a single year. Think about that. The first 100,000 took 11 years of grinding. The last 100,000 took 12 months of mostly sitting still. Same person. Same $500 a month. Completely different experience. That is the whole secret of wealth in one picture. It starts painfully slow and it ends absurdly fast. Now you understand why the people who make it look at the first 100,000 as a rite of passage. There is a famous idea in investing. Get the first 100,000 by any honest means necessary. Save it, earn it, do whatever it takes because it is the hardest and the most important money you will ever gather. Not because of what it is, because of what it unlocks. Want proof this bend is real? Consider one of the most legendary investors who has ever lived. A man worth over $80 billion. Here is the part that will break your brain. More than 95% of his fortune was built after his 65th birthday. He was already rich and respected in his 50s. But the vast majority of his wealth came in the final stretch, when decades of compounding finally hit the steep part of the curve. He did not get better at investing at 65. His snowball just got enormous. Time did the work. So here's the danger, and I need you to really hear this. The whole system is designed to test you at the bottom. The bottom of the curve is boring. It is slow. It is where your friends are buying new cars and posting vacations while your account crawls forward by inches. This is the danger zone. This is where 90% of people look at their small, slow-moving balance, decide investing does not work for people like them, and quit. And every single one of them quits before the good part. They walk out of the theater right before the movie gets good. Do not be them. The reward for surviving the boring part is a curve that eventually does the work for you. So let me give you the actual playbook to get through that first brutal 100,000 as fast as humanly possible. 1. Pay yourself first. The day your paycheck lands, money moves into your investments automatically before you can spend it, before you can even see it. Wealthy people do not save what is left after spending. They spend what is left after saving. Automate it, and willpower stops being the problem. 2. Keep it boring. You do not need to pick the next hot stock. A simple low-cost index fund that owns a piece of the entire market has built more everyday millionaires than any clever trade. Boring is the strategy. Boring compounds. 3. Protect the snowball. The single fastest way to kill your curve is to keep cashing it out. Every time you pull money to fix a small crisis, you reset the clock and push your crossover point further away. Build a small emergency cushion in plain cash so your investments never have to be touched. Let the snowball roll. 4. Feed it more when you can. Every raise, every bonus, every side income. Send a chunk of it straight into the machine before your lifestyle grows to eat it. You will barely feel the money you never got used to spending. 5. And this is the one that matters most. Simply do not quit during the slow years. That is it. That is the whole edge. The math is not the hard part. The waiting is the hard part. The people who win are not smarter. They just refuse to walk away while the curve is still flat. Because here is what the first 100,000 really buys you. Proof. Proof that you can delay a reward. Proof that you can stay with something boring long enough for it to pay off. Proof to yourself that this actually works. Once you have watched your own money cross that line and start earning more than you do, you will never see a paycheck the same way again. The first 100,000 is brutal. It is supposed to be. It is the toll you pay to get onto the road where money finally works for you, instead of the other way around. Almost everyone turns back before they reach it. The ones who do not quietly become wealthy while everyone else is still arguing that the game is rigged. So start today. Automate one transfer. Pick one boring index fund, and promise yourself one thing, that no matter how slow it feels at the bottom, you will not quit before the curve bends. Because it will bend. It always does. The only question is whether you are still there when it happens. If this made the math, click subscribe. We turn the way money actually works into something you can finally see. And I will see you in the next one.